Hi guys, it's Frankie from Frankie Tech, and this is a little quick special video I want to do. This is not related to any of the Xiaomi phones I've been testing thus far, but I wanted to do just a quick video on my kind of long-term review, I guess. This would be my long-term review of the Pixel 2 XL, and here it is, guys. This is the Pixel 2 XL, and this is the one I've been using for quite a bit of time right now. This has been, I guess, and this is probably where I need to kind of share a little bit of the background of my story with Frankie Tech. You know, I really did start this channel back in 2015 with the goal of kind of more of a kind of an Apple and kind of Nexus phone focus, and that was kind of one of my original goals, to really kind of do kind of Apple and kind of Nexus phone reviews. But the reality was, there's only one really good big Apple phone, I guess iPhone release, and Pixel at the time was Nexus release every year. And so that's why I really ultimately decided to kind of move away from that. It took years to kind of think about what I wanted to do, and now I'm really kind of into that Chinese phone tech space. A lot of the kind of Xiaomi, Huawei, a lot of TCL, a lot of the other phones that are coming out. There's so many interesting phones from China coming out, and it's definitely a really interesting space to be in. Something I'm really excited to cover, over the next year in Frankie Tech. But I really just wanted to kind of do a quick overview of my time with this phone, because this is one of the phones that kind of harkens back to my major interest in phones overall, which and I'll definitely be doing an iPhone kind of retrospective, at least my time with the iPhone 10 video in the future. But let me talk about the Pixel, because when the original Pixel came out in I guess it was end of 2015, actually. Is that right? No, that's end of 2016, sorry. When the first Pixel came out, I was fully on board. I really did want to kind of jump on the bandwagon. I've been using Nexus phones for that whole time, and I was really excited to see what Google's offering was going to be in, with this new Pixel phone. And so I did use the Pixel XL, the original Pixel XL, as my daily driver, and kind of on and off with the iPhone of the time, my iPhone 7 Plus, for a long period of time there. That was my, I guess, my Android daily driver, and I loved it. It was really awesome. And so when this phone came out, there were a lot of questions about what this phone was going to be like. And when it finally did come out, I was really excited to see it. And I actually I was overjoyed when I first got it. I really enjoyed it. But I started noticing there was something wrong with the phone. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. And eventually started reading all these reports, and there it is. You can see a little bit. That was the major issue, guys. The display, the blue shift on this Pixel, was the Pixel 2 XL specifically, was the major problem that it went through. And it really tested my kind of my interest in Google's phones. Thinking like, is this as good for the price, of any kind of flagship phones? Now, there is one thing about this phone that I've always loved, and that's definitely got to be the camera. But let's kind of go a quick overview, just overall, the way I do with all my phones here, about design, display, performance, audio, and camera. And this is going to be a really quick video, guys, so let's jump through them real quick. The design of this phone, it is still great. I still love it. I mean, it is a big behemoth of a phone. And you see I have the white variant here. It's been a pretty awesome experience. And it's one of those phones, though, that catches people's eyes. People definitely are just like, they see it and they're just like, oh, what phone is that? What phone is that? And they want to see it. And, you see little touches there like this this orange power button there. I really enjoy that. So overall, the design, it's definitely a step above the Pixel, the original Pixel, and so I've enjoyed that overall. Now talking about display, and this kind of segues from the kind of earlier chat I was having. The display was really the major worry, the major kind of factor that made me question whether I should return this phone. And when I first had this phone, I didn't really notice it. It was funny because I didn't notice that the screen was actually that bad. At first, but then once the actual reports started coming out of how dull the colors were, I put it next to you know, another phone I had at the time, and then it hit me. I was like, oh my god, the colors on this phone are terrible. They're absolutely terrible. And it wasn't until, as you guys can see right here, when they actually, and here it is, when Google actually changed the settings. So let me show you what the original kind of Pixel experience was like. Whoops. The original Pixel experience, those are the colors. And you know what? Like, let's even put the original wallpaper so you guys can see what it looked like in its original form here. So when I first got the Pixel, that was the color scheme, and you might not show on video very well, but it was very dull. I saw it and I was like, well, that looks pretty good. That looks all right. Well, I was wrong, because the moment that they came out with this saturated, boosted, and then saturated colors, I put saturated on, and bam, there you go. I mean, how much better is that? Like, the colors just popped. And then the blue shift that, you know, luckily wasn't as bad on my phone, as you can see right there, was not a factor. It really was not a factor. And overall, the display, I've gotten used to the display on this phone. It's definitely been surpassed now at this point by phones of 2018, you know, all the notch phones, all the bezel-less phones. This phone's, I think the screen to body ratio is like 76%, so it's really not high at all. But I think overall, I still like the screen. It's definitely probably the worst part of the phone, but it is not something that once you get used to it, that you would have a problem with. I think it's still pretty good. Talking about now performance, and this is probably the part where this phone really just shines. I mean, I know that this is an older generation chip right here, and this is where the whole Pixel kind of promise, the whole Pixel idea comes to life. There's something about the software on this phone, and it's like a combination with that Snapdragon 835 in here with the 4 GB of RAM. That's only 4 GB of RAM. Imagine, guys, it is not anywhere to the level of these other phones. You can see it right here. Let's go in here. Let's see if we can find some more information there. Well, I'm running the 64 GB version here. This is the Snapdragon 835, 4 GB of RAM, and I just, you know, I think this is one of those cases where it's not about the hardware. It really is not about the hardware. You could take any Xiaomi phone, and if you actually optimized it for, you know, if Google went in and optimized the software the way they've done with the Pixel, it would be the best performing phone in the world. And that's why this is still the best performing Android phone in the world. I don't care what anyone says. Like, you open up any single app, and it is just like immediate. Like, you see it right there. It is spectacular. You really don't need that much better a chip. And that's what I love about this phone. The thing I love about the Pixel 2 XL is that it just continues the spirit of the Pixel and of its software optimizations, of its software improvements, and that is why battery life on this has been amazing, and, you know, overall just experience has been amazing using this. And you guys probably noticed already, and this could be like another video I do, maybe if you guys have any interest in the Pixel, but I am running right here. I'll show you guys right here. There it is, Android version 9. I am running the Android P beta here on the Pixel 2 XL. And I'm definitely loving it so far. It's definitely been, you know, a great software experience. They're definitely doing a lot of optimization so far. It's still kind of a little buggy here and there, but you know what? It hasn't really affected my experience with the phone overall. And I love this kind of new gesture swipe system that you can use on this on this Pixel XL, and this works for the regular Pixel 2 as well. So that's another reason why I love the Pixel, because of its amazing abilities to be kind of on the forefront of software for Android. Now talking about the next step, I guess we'll be going to audio here. The audio on this phone, it's one of the best audio experiences, I think, overall. And we can just kind of jump in a quick, let's jump in here to a quick, no, not The Greatest Showman, that's my wife's. So jumping into just a quick song here. Let's just go into it and see how this performs right here. And you know what, in terms of speaker, in terms of phone quality, this phone's been great. It's one of the best on the market by far. So let's listen to this, putting it at 75% first. Going to 80. There you go. Now let's go full blast. Phenomenal. Honestly, like, it is one of my favorite features of this phone. You can see them right there. They are the dual front firing speakers. There's one, and there's the other right there. And those are dual front firing speakers on this Pixel 2 XL. They make for a really great experience for listening and for kind of any of your audio experiences overall. And this phone, granted, that is the other thing, it does not have a headphone jack like a lot of the phones that came out in 2017 and into 2018. That is just a kind of the realities, guys, of the future of audio tech. Everything's going towards Bluetooth. And so if you're using an iPhone, if you're using a Pixel, if you're using any sort of those phones, you're definitely going to be looking into kind of Bluetooth audio solutions. My recommendation is the AirPods. But I've heard about the Pixel Buds that came out with this phone. They were critically panned. They were really terribly panned. So I'm not really interested in getting them. I can't wait to see, though, what a second-gen Pixel Buds will be like. I know that OnePlus 6 also has those OnePlus 6, the Bullets, the Bluetooth headphones. And I'm sure those would work great for this kind of Android experience. Now talking about the camera. And I honestly, guys, I don't know really where to start with the camera, because there would be just so much to have to cover in just one video. So all I'm going to say really is that the camera on this phone is probably the best camera that I own, to be honest with you guys. Like, the camera on this phone is spectacular. And, you know, I don't know how many kind of images I can show you here of how well this camera performs right here, but let's just kind of zoom in there on some of these shots. These are interior low light shots. These were super low light shots. And there's one shot that I actually took really, oh, here they are. This was a place that we went to. It was a restaurant, and we went to this really great kind of Chinese restaurant. It's kind of a Chinese fusion restaurant here in Hong Kong. And have a look at these photos here. They are spectacular. Like, no other phone can really do. And let me go ahead and rotate this so you can really experience it here. No other phone, I think, can really capture the level of detail that this phone can do in low light. It is absolutely spectacular. And I mean, the P20 Pro is out there, and I really enjoyed my experience with the P20 Pro, but you can see it there. Look how delicious that looks. That looks amazing. And it was just one of those things that when I went to this dinner and I took these photos, I just said, my gosh, Google is doing something right. Look at that. That's incredible. Just incredible photos. Incredible level of detail of this food here. So if you're looking at low light, and if you guys can even think about the kind of photos you'd want to take on this phone, the camera on this phone is probably the king of Android phones. It is spectacular. So there's literally no negative feedback I can give to Google on their Pixel 2 XL camera. And it's really probably the main reason why I still carry this phone around, because it has been unbelievable in terms of the camera. It even surpasses my experience with the iPhone 10 that I use for filming. It surpasses it. So guys, this is the end of the video. Definitely give me your thoughts if you guys want to see kind of more, I guess, kind of more videos on different phones. I've been obviously doing a lot of Xiaomi reviews, a lot of Xiaomi phones recently. But one question I do have for you guys is, what other kind of phones would you like to see me review? What other companies, what other kind of manufacturers do you want to see reviewed on my channel? And obviously, I'm being a big kind of Pixel supporter. I love Pixel, but I also love iPhone. They're always clashing, guys. I do love what the iPhone brings to the software space and to the the smartphone space. But I do love my Pixel so much, and it is really probably still my favorite kind of Android phone overall. But what are the phones that you want to see kind of battling against this Pixel 2 XL right here? Definitely hit me up in the comments. Give me your thoughts. If you like this kind of video, or if you want me to stick more to Xiaomi videos, definitely also comment on that too. I appreciate all the feedback regardless. But I'm going to leave you guys here with this beautiful phone, the Pixel 2 XL. It's really, really spectacular. And look forward to seeing you guys on the next Frankie Tech video. So this is where I guess I say, this is Frankie Tech signing off. Y'all have a good day.